And I do know a couple car salespeople that make $1 million a year. I know like 3 of them.
Right? You start off in a Scion, you jump to a Toyota, you die in a Lexus. That's their model.
You look across the board, prices are getting cheaper and cheaper on cars by the day. People were caught out so off guard. They're like, how is this guy so good? One person asked me if I sold my soul to the devil. True story. All right, guys, this is my 4th podcast, and it's exciting. We are getting through these one at a time. This is number 4, and we will introduce my my colleague, my co-conspirator in this business, Johnny Flores. He joined my journey about 4 years ago as an auto broker. Quick background story. I talked about this in one of the previous podcasts, but I'd started up a dealership in 2019 with a business partner who kind of scammed me, led me along, said we're going to be 50-50 partners. And once I got the dealership up and running, he kind of, backtracked on everything and learn this lesson from me. Always get something in writing, get a contract in place whenever there's a partnership or a business agreement, just to make sure you have something, to fall back on when people change up on you. So anyway, I met Johnny. First, I started this other dealership. I got an Uber ride to go pick up a trade-in that I was buying from a customer. And the Uber driver was telling me, he was like, well, you started up this dealership. That's interesting, asking me questions. And he says, my son's very talented in this car business. He wants to start a dealership as well. I was like, oh, really? What does he do? And he's like, he's a finance manager at Toyota. I was like, interesting. I was a finance manager at Toyota. And, the best finance managers are usually Toyota finance managers because it's the hardest position to be in finance at, in my opinion. I mean, I think Volkswagen's a little tougher because the only way they sell cars is doing the really cheap lease deals.
Yeah.
But, finance at Toyota kind of goes like this. Your job is to sell a warranty to a customer who's coming in specifically to buy a car that in its legend does not break down.
Yeah, they're the most reliable cars out there. VW, I have friends at VW, and it's a nightmare. They give you free maintenance, free warranties, like for the length of the loan. So it's very difficult to sell on those. And most people lease them.
Yeah, exactly. Most people lease a Volkswagen. And during the lease, you don't have to worry about warranty or any repairs.
Yeah.
My favorite finance manager job was Maserati. I sold the prepaid maintenance because if you take the car to the dealership, it's $1,000 for an oil change.
Wow.
Can you imagine? $1,000, and it's the same oil, same type of oil, same type of time it takes to do it on most other cars.
Yeah, just the parts. I just saw the Huracan's, like the guy was saying, is $3,000 for an oil change. Has numerous plugs.
Yeah, it's because of the knowledge and the tools. You need certain tools. The Huracan has 9 drain plugs. You can get away with taking off 8 of them, but they usually skip the toughest one, which requires more disassembly. But yeah, the Huracan has like 9 drain plugs. Same as, if I'm not mistaken, same as the Audi R8. And yeah, I can see why people would charge an average person $3,000 because it's outside of the scope of most mechanics' comfort zones.
Yeah.
So very little people know how to do it, and I'm sure there's other things, but That's insane, man. I would never pay 3,000 for an oil
No,
change.
the guy figured out how to do it himself. Spent like 280 for the oil and the filter and did it all himself. I think I'd go that route too.
It's quite yeah, I would learn how to do it myself.
3 grand.
Yeah, nowadays with YouTube and you're, like, somewhat mechanically inclined, you can just
Oh, yeah, totally.
watch a video 3, 4 times and
There's so many things now. You could do so many things on your own car, especially the older cars. Older cars are so many things that you could learn and do yourself. If you ever have a question, there's always a video. It's very rare if you don't find one.
Yeah, yeah, nowadays in information technology and chat GBT and
Yeah.
yeah, there's always knowledge out there. YouTube University,
Oh, yeah.
save some money. But anyway, I met Johnny. Originally, I heard about the guy through his father, and I was like, okay, I'll make my way over there one day. And then I mean, I started the company about 10 years ago as an auto broker. So I was doing auto broker and selling dealership, used car dealership cars 50/50. So I had a broker deal and I made my way over to Toyota. And this was like after hours. And they set me up with Johnny to do the paperwork. And I was like, wait a minute, is your dad an Uber driver? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, dude, I heard about you. I've been wanting to meet you. And then I know how it is in finance, and I was like, "Man, this guy's working for free," which was the worst part in finance where you're doing paperwork and you're actually, working for free, so I offered him a pizza. I said, "Let me buy you a pizza, man. Thanks for your work," and I got him a pizza.
Yeah, when you do a broker deal, if you don't know, as a finance manager, you basically don't make any money. So as a finance manager doing the deal, not only do you not make any money, but it could actually cost you money because they pay you based on what your average, percent penetration is. And with broker clients, the broker's already pre-negotiated the deal for them.
Yeah.
So there's really no opportunity to make money. So you're just basically doing their paperwork, their registration for free. So
Yeah, yeah, and because I know how it is, I mean, I always wanna help people out. But that brings up a good, segue into brokering and how does brokering work. Um, I did a bunch of math working behind the scenes at a dealership, being an inside guy at a dealership. That's how I named the company Inside Guy, Inside Car Guys. I'm a car guy, I'm an inside guy. So, my average calculation is a customer is gonna spend about $5,000 more on the average transaction as what a broker is going to get the car for. Now, in between the savings and what the broker gets the car for, most brokers will mark it up 2, 3 grand as their commission, and then they make 2 or $3,000 commission. I do it a little differently. My pricing's upfront. It's transparent. It's 997 to the customer. And if I save them 5,000, they get 5,000 off the car. As opposed to most brokers who are like, I'm saving you 5,000, but I'm gonna really save you like 2,000 and make 3,000.
yeah, the average broker fee, I mean, all the broker deals that I had typed, I mean, it'd be 3 grand, $2,500. That was the average check the dealership was cutting the broker who, in theory, wasn't collecting a broker fee up front or collecting an upfront fee for their time. They're collecting it on the back end from the dealership,
Right.
essentially working for the dealership. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Most brokers negotiate a commission with the dealership
correct. Yeah,
and then they sell the customer the car for whatever they think they can sell the car for to the customer. And typically it's a better deal by a grand or two ish. I like to save my customers 4 or 5K. So instead of collecting a commission from the dealership, I just charge the customer up front. Now, some customers have a problem with it. They're like, oh, my last broker didn't charge me a commission or didn't charge me a fee. And I'm like, well, they made a commission where you think they work for free.
right. Yeah, nothing's free.
Yeah, so it's $9.97 upfront if you wanna use my broker service, and that's what I make. Um, and the other end of it, it's like, how much are you saving? I mean, you're still saving with those other brokers. You're still saving an average amount that you could legitimately do on your own, but with using a broker, the main point is you got someone doing all of the stressful negotiation and the stressful time it takes to shop for a car.
That's gonna be the most valuable thing. I mean, that's a commodity that's most valuable to me, every day with family and stuff. I don't wanna deal with buying a car, dealing with that if I was a regular person. For us, it's different, right? We've been doing it so long, almost 20 years. For us, we make a phone call and it's, "Hey, what's your best deal on this car?" No negotiation, no how much you pay for it. It's, super straightforward and easy versus a typical customer that goes into a dealership.
Yeah, if a customer asks, for example, what's the best deal on the car? They get the runaround. First of all, I like to explain it this way. There's 5 levels of people you talk to at a dealership. Level 1 being the, BDC or the internet manager, business development is what BDC stands for,
Level 1.
and their job is to get you to come in, and they're trained specifically how to, um, negotiate the questions and negate the answers to get you to come into the dealership without giving you too much information. So if you call a average dealership as a customer and you say, "What's the best price?" Well, the best price is, and this is how I was trained as a salesperson. Well, the best price is given to you when you're ready to buy the car.
You are the leverage.
Yeah, your presence is your leverage. When you come in and you test drive the car, you're ready to buy the car. We'll talk about the best price.
Right.
That gives total control to the dealership because now you're on their turf. And I can see why customers want to know the best price before they come in because they don't want to come in and, get their expectations not met.
No, 100%. I remember, I was trained that the longer a customer is on your lot, the higher chance of success of you selling them a car. That was always
And the more money you make.
and the more money you make. Yeah,
Yeah.
because 'cause you're
Or
building rapport
yeah.
and you're basically controlling that situation.
Yeah, and let's clear this up because here's a common, myth, right? "Oh, I got a friend that works at the dealership."
Hear
Guess
that all the
what?
time.
The most money is made on friendship.
Yeah.
So, building rapport is just another way to make them your friend in an hour. That's what they're trained to do. They're trained to find common grounds, become a friend with the customer. And if you're already friends with a salesperson, the sales managers use that as leverage.
Yeah.
So they're going to think, oh, I'm automatically going to get the best deal because my friend works there. I got an inside guy. No, you don't. You
Nope.
got a salesperson, a level 1, a level 2. They're not going to give you the best deal because it's out of their control.
Yeah, they can't. They don't
Right.
have they're not the decision maker
How many times did you see the biggest deals come in off of somebody's friend?
all the time. Yeah,
Mhm.
salespeople's parents come in. I'm like, "Wow, how do you sleep that night?" Like,
Yeah.
jokingly, like, how do you sleep at night? These are your parents."
Yeah, friends and family, and then salesperson's chasing a commission, a small percentage of a overpacked number.
Yeah, that's true.
If
There's always numbers that the dealership's kinda withholding, even from the salespeople.
Yeah, if the dealership's making $7,000, on paper, it shows like they're making 3,000
Yeah.
because there's all these hidden packs.
Yep.
So the dealership's still making 7,000. And if the dealership says they're losing 1,000, they're still making 3,000.
Plus, there's dealer incentives, especially new car dealerships, manufacturer incentives, kickbacks that they get, finance incentives that they get. Yeah,
There's 1,000 different ways to get paid as a dealer,
right.
especially a new car store.
100%.
And so when the salesman is incentivized by a commission on the profit, they've already The dealership's already made $4,000 before it shows as a profitable deal to the salesperson. So for now, the salesperson to try to make $1,000 commission check on a $5,000 profit,
Yeah,
the dealer's making $9,000.
double that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's usually double,
yeah, it's usually double.
but they're only paying the salesperson on half of it.
Right, right, right. So it's really a 10% commission,
Yeah,
not a 20.
exactly.
But that's where they're chasing it, and it kinda makes sense from this perspective of why they need to do that, but you also have to wonder, what if they were just, like, fair on every deal, and it all averaged out, and people didn't have to run around and shop every dealer to g try to get a better price?
Like a pure price, like a set
Yeah.
price, no negotiation, like a CarMax.
Yeah, kinda.
Or like Scion. I mean, Toyota did that. They started off with Scion in 2006, I think it was, 2005,
Right.
and that was designed as a like basically a 10-year trial run of pure pricing.
Yeah.
And so every Scion, I remember I was the Scion champion at Toyota, knew everything about them, ins and outs, did walk-arounds for Toyota competitions, and the pure pricing model was basically a trial to see if it would work. And it did well. I mean, Scion was kind of cool because I almost felt a relief in some scenarios when I had people that were wanting to negotiate. You sense that they're like amped up to negotiate, and then you show them the car, they come inside, they love the car, and sit down to do the numbers, and you're like, "Hey, this is the price." And they're, "Okay, I wanna negotiate." It didn't matter if it was a penny. We couldn't negotiate on those
Right,
cars
right, yeah, they're all
whatsoever.
sold for the same price.
Yeah, every single one.
But
And
you
it
can make money on financing and warranty
right,
still,
yeah,
yeah.
but warranties, everything else is actually set price too.
Oh, it was.
Warranties were set price. Finance managers liked it and didn't like it because they essentially wouldn't make as much money, but you could sell more products, get better penetration.
So I guess the only other way to play that game is, like, still a trade-in then, right?
Yeah. That's not fair
Underwriting.
price.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even the interest was all everything was set. It's kinda like, yeah, it's kinda like what CarMax does right now. They're basically
If you went through Toyota, right?
if you went through
But
Toyota,
if you went through a different bank, you could
um,
mark it up maybe.
potentially, but, they audit. Toyota will audit the
Oh,
deals
that
and
was
see
it.
if you yeah.
Okay. So,
So
yeah,
you didn't have to go through Toyota, that's true.
Scion kinda had a little test run on that, but they didn't last, did they?
Well, it wasn't meant to go forever. Scion means heir to. So it's the heir to Toyota.
I see.
Right? You start off in a Scion, you jump to a Toyota, you die in a Lexus.
Uh,
That's their model, right? You have something cool, customizable. It has Pioneer stereo system and all these accessories and LED lights you could do to it. They had a list of all accessories
oh, wow.
for, hey, this if you want LED lights, we'll do it for you. It's $199. They had pure price for all that. And I used to that's where you make money as a salesperson. You you'd accessorize it.
Wow.
Somebody come in and, hey, you want wheels, you want tires, and you remember this guy's like, I want everything. And then that's where you make a commission. You turn a, $150 Mini to like a $400 or $500 commission just by adding accessories. And that's what made and only certain people could actually show the Scions. Like every Scion deal usually went through me.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, because
You had
I'd
to be,
work all
like,
the number.
certified
Exactly.
and yeah.
Scion
All that
certified. Yep.
stuff. Wow.
So no, it's kind of cool. It's fun too. And they had their own showroom. They had their own little spot in the showroom that was all Scion and wheels, tires, all the accessories, TRD exhaust, and you're able to customize it. And they had a Scion there that was all tricked out. So no, it's pretty fun. It was cool little experiment for them.
Yeah, another car brand that did that was, Saturn.
Yep. I was
They had, like, set pricing, and I think there was one more that I can't remember or recall right now. And
but look,
there
Saturn's not around
yeah,
anymore.
neither is Scion, that's my point. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I feel like a lot of the fun for some of the veteran car buyers is negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even to this day, I get these old school customers that come in and wanna negotiate, and I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. You found the cheapest car in the world on the internet, which means I'm losing money, or I'm selling it cheaper than everybody else. I'm not gonna negotiate."
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They need to win, and they feel like if they negotiate, they win. You want to go back to where we met, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So back more stories to where we met. So long story short, I I got kind of messed over with that first car dealership venture. The good is that um I learned how to start up a car dealership and I went through the process. It's an extremely stressful process when you've never done it before
yeah,
and you don't really have guidance. I had a lot of mentors, so I figured it out as I went. I always was able to call on my mentors, people that own new car Toyota stores and that's been in the business for a long time to kind of fill in the blanks. But my partner at the time, he didn't know anything and he wasn't even trying to help. He was just absent. Then once I set up the foundation and I figured out all the steps and the processes to do, that's when he came in, kind of like learned everything and then pushed me out because he got greedy for the money. I was licking my wounds from the partnership that I kind of got like, messed over on and I was really upset, sad, angry at the same time. I wanted to go back to the old school ways, take it to the streets, plot revenge, but I said it's not worth it. Don't want to do anything that'll get me locked up or,
ruin your chance of success.
yeah, yeah, mess up my karma.
Yeah,
So
not
I
worth it.
just kind of wished him the best. And I was even still trying to be supportive of his venture because it was like my baby, that was being successful
Right.
with my programming and my setup.
It's like a stepdad. Wish him well with your baby.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I let him have it. Walked away with nothing. Didn't even get paid what I was rightfully due during the partnership. It was all stressful. So I kind of walked away and I started over from scratch. And I already had directed all of my website and my leads and my SEO value towards the dealership, which was helping make it successful. So I took it all back. I took away my leads, my redirect, and I started a new website. I partnered up with someone else who helped me with the website and the strategy. Um, and then I got going again, and I needed money to fund the business, the new startup. So what I did is I got a job at Toyota in finance. That was always good for me. It was a well-paying job because most, finance managers weren't that good at selling, so they pay a higher commission, and I was able to come in and make double the average finance manager, and I got a chance to work with Johnny, so I got hired at his store.
Yeah, that's where we became friends
Yeah.
because we met during the broker, and then you had actually stopped by before, actually, when you were with your previous partner. We were gonna go to lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And then that, I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't know who you were, never,
Yeah.
never met you before. And so,
Well, I was gonna try to recruit you
yeah,
for the, dealership over there.
yeah. No, I remember.
And then I thought, "Oh, let me just wait." I didn't wanna rush it because I wasn't on stable ground with, my partner.
Yeah.
So I kinda held off. And plus I didn't have as much control as I thought I did because he was, you know, um, breaking his promises and words with other people I brought in. So I said, let me wait. I don't wanna burn my, relationships." So then later I got a job there and I started working in finance and flexing my skills, so to speak, is how good I am, my ego. Johnny had an ego as well, and, he was the number one guy there, and I started challenging him, and he had to step up his skills, and I learned a little bit from, him and another finance manager there.
Yeah, it was never, it was always, I was always the top guy. Like, at my first store where I was promoted to the youngest finance manager that they had ever promoted, I remember the top guy at that time was like, "Kid, you're gonna chase me like all these other kids, like all these other people, and you're never gonna be able to do, what I can do." I was like, "Okay." I learned some from him, right? The guy was funny, charismatic, cool guy, still a friend to this day. And then my first month, I beat him. And then the second month, I beat him. And the third month, I just beat him ever since. And I just remember all the other guys, for the years I've been there, they have never beat him. He was always like the, king of finance. And so it was funny. The first month, second month, every month for years, I beat him. They finally switched to a different, he actually went to VW. After that, I always thought it was because of me. I was like, oh, like he doesn't like being number two, so he's gonna go to VW.
Yeah.
But it was cool. But no, yeah, when you came on board, it was cool because my average, I see you beat my average. I'm like, wait a minute, who the heck is this guy? Freaking. Then next month I'd win, and then next month he'd win, and we basically go back and forth like we're like, well, look what I could do, look what I could do. And then after that, it took a while to warm up to you, but after that, I was like, became friends.
Yeah.
It was funny because every single time that we had a moment, you'd be, remember, you'd be plotting. You'd be like, okay, look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do credit and buying service, and we're gonna have the broker service. We're gonna do a dealership. And at first, I was just like, okay, this guy's just, he's on something. And then you deal by deal, you're like, hey, I got this opportunity for a broker deal. He'd bring me in. I was like, oh, okay. And then like deal after deal, I'm like, there's something here. And I had no idea about brokering. All I knew was, the basics of from the dealership, finance, sell a car, trade-ins, things like that. But there's so many. Um, it was cool because you were not working against the customer. That's one of the things that was fun about like the starting out as a broker is that you're actually working for the customer. And you're
Yeah.
like, I've always thought about that in the past. I'm like, I feel like I'm adversarial to a customer, to a client buying a car. As a broker, you're not. You're like their, car law. I always explain like a car lawyer, where you're basically looking out for their best interest.
Yeah, you're representing the customer as a broker.
Right. It has a great feeling, very satisfying.
You're no longer like, "How much money can I make from this customer?" You're like, "How much money can I save this customer?"
With using the knowledge and experience I have and the connections that I have at a dealership, which is why like I have a bunch of friends and referrals that I help buy cars all the time. And it's always like that same feeling. I'm always working against the sales manager, the desk to try to get them the best deal.
Right.
And nice thing is I was finance. I was their top guy. So I was always able to help them. And it basically the same thing, except people pay us to do it now. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's definitely fun buying cars, especially for me, I've bought so many cars, but it's definitely a lot more fun to buy a car than it is to sell a car, and it's fun to kinda, like, flex on how much I know about the car business on the average car guy. So the average car guy, compared to my work ethic, is lazy. Um, I've put in, over 20 years, but I've never been complacent or lazy in the business. I've always worked really hard, and when I'm not with a customer, I'm looking for a customer, and when I'm not doing either one of those, I'm training or studying or, uh, talking to a mentor how to become better. And, the business changed my life, I mean, I was homeless for a while, got into the car business, and realized as a ninth grade, education, I could literally make 6 figures. And the first job I got in the car dealership, they introduced a guy who was making $350,000 a year.
That's
Michael Parks. This was at, it was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Pontiac, Kia, and Isuzu was the brand. And the guy was literally making, $350,000 in 1999, 2000, 2001.
Wow.
That was more money than doctors, lawyers, most educated people in America at the time could make. And it was ridiculous. And I said, wow, man, how do I make that type of money? So I followed him around, and one of the number one things I noticed is the guy was always smiling. And I guess I would be too if I'm making $350,000, you
In
know.
99.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, back in those years.
what's that, like 6 now?
It's probably closer to 1,000,000 a year now. And I do know a couple car salespeople that make $1,000,000 a year. I know like 3 of them. And every year they were making $1,000,000 plus. And they're legends in their perspective, field.
Is it because they sell a certain number of units, or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because people trust them with their, Rolodex of repeat clients, and they are able to maximize profit?
It's both, but it's mostly volume is what I found. Those people sell a lot of cars.
And they get incentivized.
Yeah, and they're my contacts for brokering. I know I'll get a good deal from them if I call them because they don't care so much about how much they're making on a car, they care about selling a car.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
always a unit.
They just wanna sell a car, so if it takes, losing the dealership money, they're gonna.
Hypothetically, it
Yeah,
goes back
but
to what we were talking about before. Even if the dealership on paper is losing two
they're still
grand,
making money.
they're still making. So for them, their goal is to basically just move the unit, and then they get incentivized on the back end.
Yeah.
And they get unit bonuses. I remember when I was in sales, we'd always have unit bonuses: 12 cars a month, 18 cars a month, 24 cars a month. You get a bonus for every, increment that you.
Yeah, and then those people also get, like, free cars. They get a free
Oh, yeah.
brand new whatever brand that they sell.
Yep.
Brand new, the hottest car, because they are the brand, for the dealership.
Yeah. A lot of time, I remember one of them, you don't even really talk to them. You talk to they have assistants
Yeah.
that work. I remember one of the dealerships that one of the connections that you, hooked us up with. I mean, you call, and number one was for that salesperson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember, that's like, press 1 for so and so, press 2 for everyone else.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah, for sales in
Yeah.
general. Yeah, it's crazy when you get to that level at a dealership, but you're there for 10, 15 years. You've got a book of business, maybe you're part of a community or a culture that, only goes to you and they all know you as that person and whatever it is, it gets you that amount of exposure to a group to where you're able to sell 100 cars a month or even like 50, 60, 70 cars a month can make you $1,000,000 in this business
Right.
at the right dealership, you
Yeah.
know. But I mean, obviously, when you're that good, those dealerships are going to come recruiting you and promising you that, that type of income. For me, I just never did really well working under other like corporates or structures because I don't agree with a lot of their rules. I kind of live outside of the normal rules of society. I make my own rules. I create my own lane a lot, and that's what's helped me. Like even becoming a broker or starting car dealerships. I'm like I'm very creative outside the box. I think in ways most other average car guys and girls can't think. I'm thinking a different way to make a deal.
Yeah. That's
And
one of the things that actually I feel sets us apart from any other dealership or even auto broker, is that with the experience and the way, we work. I mean, we're more creative than any other dealership I've ever encountered, or auto broker. There's no comparison.
yeah, yeah, there's always a way to solve a problem that we kind of figure it out where other dealerships have already kicked the customer out
Yeah.
and said, "We can't help you, but you come see me and there's a way I can usually
The um
get the solution."
the person who bought the Dodge Challenger, or traded in the Dodge Challenger. He could not. He went to like almost 10 other dealerships before he came to us, and every dealership said, "No, we can't get you out of the car. You need to come up with X amount of money down." And um, with my finance mind, I was able to basically get the guy out of the vehicle. And
Yeah,
every
cancel his warranties.
Yep,
That was there.
cancel out the
Yeah.
warranties, refund it towards the loan. Um, yeah, it was crazy. Is that I can't believe we made this happen.
Yeah.
Like the guy was so happy when he did. He's like, every other dealership told me no.
Yeah, yeah, and even that one, it kinda backfired on us.
It did. Yeah, no
Yeah, we were
he
supposed
goes
to
on
get
fun.
the money for the canceled warranty, and it ended up going to the customer, and of course, he never paid for it, so or he never turned it over to us, but that's okay because we still sold his car as trade-in and made a profit, so
Yeah, it balanced
kinda
out a little
balanced it
bit, I
out,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and it's fine, I mean, you win some, you lose some, but at the end of the day, I think like those $1,000,000 a year salespeople, I just wanna sell a car. Sometimes we're gonna make money, sometimes we're gonna lose. At the end of the month, there's still gonna be a profit of X amount of dollars, and then you just divide that between every car as your average.
yeah.
And that's what sets me apart from a lot of dealers out there. They're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna lose money on this car," or "Why am I losing money on this car because blah, blah, blah." It's like, dude, you're gonna end up keeping the car for 2 years and then lose more money.
That's why we actually see some of the cars if you go through and you'll see that the cars are 300 days,
Yeah.
400 days old, and you're like, "Why does this dealership still have this car? Is it a personal car? Is it what is this?" And it's still online for sale, but the price is crazy
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
outrageous, and it's like, well, that's why they still have it.
Yeah, exactly. On market data, that's the tool we use on a dealer center. It lists a lot of the competition cars.
Yeah.
So, if, for example, I got a 2015 Toyota Prius, I plug it in, it shows me everybody within 100 miles or whatever I filter it to. But it starts at 100 miles within 20, 10 up or 10,000 down of those miles. It'll tell me what everyone else has for sale, how long they've had it, and what their price is.
Yeah, no, it's actually a really useful tool, and we use it when we price our cars.
Yeah.
So we look at what people essentially are selling them for, what they've sold for, how long they're holding them in inventory.
Mhm.
Another cool thing is that a referral of mine, buy a car from somewhere else. I was like, I wonder if they got a good deal on this car. And I feel like they didn't. I look up the VIN number and market data when I was appraising the car, and it showed exactly how much they paid for the car that they bought. I was like,
Wow.
wow, they paid 3-4 grand more than what I could have helped them get that car for easily.
Yeah.
And the car's not even it was a car that was in abundance. It wasn't an ultra rare car.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
was the Honda Civic in gray, Honda Civic Sport, and there's a bunch out there.
Yeah, what do you do when you have 100 Honda Civics on the market for sale? You gotta the only way to compete in my mind is just make it the cheapest one,
Yeah.
so sometimes we're gonna price it to lose money and hope that we get a trade-in or we make money on finance or warranty, but in most cases, it's just a volume car, and, that's why when customers come in and trying to negotiate, you're like, "No."
I feel like there's 2 ways to, sell a car, and we basically utilize both. One, obviously, is price, right? Price is always like, when I'm shopping for stuff, I'm always like, "Okay, which one's the lowest?" And then which one's the most value, right? Which one's the cleanest? Number 2 is to have the cleanest, lowest mileage,
Right.
because as we've seen, people will pay for a vehicle that's been well maintained, ultra clean garage with low miles,
Yeah.
and they'll pay above the norm. And yeah, they might want to negotiate, but they will pay for them. And that's one thing I've noticed with these clean cars that come in like that is that they'll sell quick and they'll sell for all the money,
Right, right,
right? And
right.
it's not always the case, but it seems like it is. Seems like the norm. So either you have the best deal, best price on the car, or you just have an ultra clean garage kept vehicle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when I shop for cars at the auction, I'm looking for low miles.
You trip me out sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
How
oh, this is
yeah, how did you get an '05 with 13,000
right.
miles?
Oh no, and even the what was it, 14 Corolla the other day with 7,000 miles. I'm like, this is 11 years old and has seven. I thought it was an error. Nope. Everything matched. We sold it like that. So
Yeah, it
that goes
sold right away.
sold right away.
Yeah.
But no, I trip out on some of these cars. It's like I remember my doctor had one that was a '03 Mercedes SL with 30,000 miles, 43,000 mile. Thing was
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
super clean. Garage cap. So
Well,
those are
one of the first cars I sold when I opened up my, dealership was like an '07 Corvette with 5,000 miles.
oh yeah, the blue one.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
that was a cool car.
Yeah, and it cleaned up well, it looked nice, and it sold right away.
It didn't look like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
when you first got it, it was looked a little rough, but we did paint correction, tires, brake, like
Yeah,
the
we did a
basic.
lot to it to make it
Yeah,
look nice.
but yeah, no, that thing was showroom
New
car.
tires, yeah, I mean, it was old, it was, like, parked outside for a long time, but we made it look nice, brought it back to life, and ended up being a great car, and it
Remember
was one of my
the you
favorites.
remember the first car that we sold as Inside Car Guys as the dealership?
It was the Corvette, probably.
Might be the Crossfire.
Oh, that was no, that was the second, I
Was
think.
that the second one? No,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Yeah, the second one was the Crossfire, but
Remember when you bought the Crossfire? I was like, why do you buy a Crossfire?
yeah, I bought a convertible Crossfire.
That we got put together from
The top didn't work, and I bought it at the auction from the dealership Johnny and I both worked at. They ran it through the auction, and when I bought it, I was like, "Oh, man, I made a mistake because they don't send much to the auction."
no, I mean they keep rough cars. They'll keep cars that need this or that value, but if they wholesaled it and they're like big on used cars, I was like, there must be something wrong
I
with it. We got
I
put
thought
together.
yeah, I thought
I
there
thought
was
for
something
sure,
wrong with it,
but no.
but I sold it, I made money on it, and I was happy. I was
And
looking
quick
it
too.
was so quick. It was a stick shift.
Yeah.
The
Like
guy
perfect
said, "I
guy.
was looking for a stick shift for under $8,000." And it's like, "All right, perfect. This is your car."
Yeah.
Top doesn't work, but he didn't care,
Yeah.
so
We're always like, oh,
I've sold a few convertibles where the top doesn't go down and people don't seem to mind.
no. I mean, I don't think I would mind.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But you're gonna put it down like 2 or 3 times a year, and
Yeah.
usually for 5 minutes because the sun just bakes you out
Oh
here
yeah.
in
So
Southern California.
yeah. Or it's too windy, you're on the phone and you're trying to take a call or
Yeah.
listen to the radio.
And
You're
you
like,
don't really wanna cruise on the freeway with the top down.
no, it's super noisy and yeah. I mean, it's nice sometimes, but
Yeah.
nice to be able to,
Yeah, I like convertibles, but, it's
I prefer hard tops.
yeah.
The Corvette convertible is nice.
Yeah, the C8, hardtop convertible is one of my favorite cars.
Yeah, it looks great with the top down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so cool how it transforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a few of those already. They're great cars.
Yeah.
I love the C8s. Right now, I'm trying to sell the Hennessy, H700 package. It's really tough to sell. I didn't think it was gonna be this tough to sell it,
Should
but
should just
it's
keep it.
yeah, I also wanna keep it. I mean, it's a rare car.
No, I
It's
haven't seen
amazing.
another one. Drives great. It's
Yeah.
a brand new car. How many miles? 2,000?
Yeah,
3,000?
2,300 miles
Yeah.
on a 2023. And it's got the Magna Ride, the front axle lift, and the Z51
That's
package,
like all the
which
packages basically.
yeah, yeah, which are the main 3,
Yeah, those are the ones you want.
Yeah, 700 horsepower. It's a fun car, and it's hard for me to say would I rather have that or a Z06 because I've never driven a Z06.
Think that will be our next
That would
next
be
move.
yeah, a convertible Z06. The prices are coming down huge right now on the C8 market.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think that's what's affecting it.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of price, right now, everything's on sale. You look across the board, prices are getting cheaper and cheaper on cars by the day.
Yeah.
CarMax just reported their roughest quarter ever. I mean, they're down by 20% the stock. And they said they had their roughest quarter. It's the lowest price in 5 years for the stock, and they're struggling. So, I mean, they want to cut $150 million in expenses in the next, I think, 9 months. I read the article. It's crazy. If CarMax is struggling, then, it's gonna only trickle down to the
Where do you
small
think they
deals.
would, come up with that type of money to cut down? You think it's gonna
It's
be
gotta be, I don't know, payroll, is always the biggest expense, so, I hope they're not gonna cut jobs, but more likely if the sales are slowing down, then, they're selling less cars, they're gonna cut some of the sales support and also sales positions at the stores.
do you
Um,
think, CarMax needs sales? Because 'Cause they're all set pricing.
I mean, you always kinda need a salesperson, especially because most people wanna test drive a car.
Yeah,
And I'll be honest, man, I've like, this is the weirdest thing, right? I thought CarMax, because of their reputation and what I've seen in the past is they don't sell damaged cars or cars that's been in previous wrecks. But there was about 3 or 4 different cars I went to go look at because I thought it was a good deal for myself at CarMax, and they've all had body damage that was repaired not the best quality.
yeah.
So you could still see, I mean, it's hard for a lot of people to see, but you could still see the ripples in the paint or the Bondo or the new paint on the cars, and I was, like, very disappointed. I said to myself, I was like, "Man, CarMax, you guys really lowered your standards for
Well,
what you used to sell."
I got an early insight to that because when I worked for Toyota, one of their mechanics came in, to buy a car, and, CarMax is, I mean, if you want a truck, you could get it from wherever you want and have it, taken to the dealership. And I was like, "Why are you buying a truck from us when you could just buy it from your store?" He's like, "Oh, I wouldn't buy a car from us." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Dude, we just, like, do a basic service on it, and, like, we don't really even check them. They could bring it back anyways.
Yeah,
If the
yeah.
car doesn't breaks down or gives the customer a problem," he's like, "We'll just take it back and then switch them into something else, and then we'll just send it to the auction." So they
Yeah,
really
I wanna say I definitely think that's one of their biggest,
advantages or
shortcomings. I mean, the biggest loss, right, is they're selling cars
yeah.
and people bring them back, and one of my friends, one of my buddies, he bought a car from CarMax in another state because he was up there and he was like, "I need to get back to," it was like a 6-hour drive back to LA anyway, "and I need to buy a car." So he bought a car for cash at a CarMax, I wanna say in Oregon or something, and he drove it back down, and then the car broke down, like, kind of like, on the way or as soon as he got here. And he took or started having, like, a major engine problem, so he took him back to CarMax
Oh, over
and got
here?
yeah, and got his money back, and I was like,
Oh,
"Wow."
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, so CarMax will let you bring like, if you buy a car from CarMax, I wanna say you got 7 days, and it used to be 30 days, or it's still 30 days,
That was
but
7, but
yeah, it might be 7 days now, but when I bought a car from CarMax, I had, what back in the day, they gave you 30 days to return the car,
wow,
and
it's like a free rental. It's like
yeah, yeah, it's literally like a free rental. And I was like, "Man, that's crazy. How can their business model be successful?" But it's definitely something that builds trust. Um, and then, there's, the auction where if you buy a car from CarMax auction as a dealer, and granted, these are typically cars that don't fit CarMax's algorithm to sell,
yep,
but
year,
they're
make, model,
yeah, or there's too
no.
many of them or
Yeah,
whatever. Um, and it has like an engine or transmission issue that's not disclosed, they let you return it, and there's a few others.
we can arbitrate it.
They
So, but
they
yeah,
yeah, we can arbitrate,
if we catch it in time.
and they still wanna fight you, like, it's weird. I mean,
Yeah.
I bought a 2022 Toyota Corolla, and it literally had JB Weld, which is like a metal mixture that turns into like a metallic paste that goes on, kinda helps, like, gluing metal together, I guess, is the
Right.
best way to
It's like a
describe.
acid and, like, melts them together or something.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was on a crack on a engine block on a newer 2022 Corolla, and I was like, "Wow, this is not good. This is a major engine defects. It's definitely has a crack in the block. Why would they do that?" And they fought me so hard, like, "Oh, this isn't one of the things we no, it's a major engine defect. Like, you
100%.
need to return this car.
Non-disclosed.
Yeah, you should have disclosed it." And then after they told me no, they told my people no a few times, I got on the phone and I was like, "Look, I've bought about 500 cars from you guys. I very seldom use the arbitration process where I know a lot of dealerships use it,
Abuse it.
overuse
Yeah,
it." Yeah.
they abuse it. They do arbitrate every car
Mhm.
just to try to get a better deal and,
Yeah, or they'll unplug some, like, sensors and make it look like a major engine defect and trick the, the
CarMax and like, "You guys need to learn how to buy better cars. You're buying every problem."
yeah, yeah. So, they do all these tricks, but I don't do that, and I'm like, "Hey, listen, I'm, like, one of your best customers." And, then they were like, "Okay, yeah, we'll take it back," but still, man, it's tricky. I've got caught with some bad cars from CarMax and lost some money on them.
Yeah. I mean, the trick is to try to figure it out right away.
Yeah,
And it's not it's what can we arbitrate for? For major engine,
yeah.
major transmission,
Convertible top, sunroof,
that's non-disclosed.
infotainment. I returned a car once because the catalytic converter was the wrong kind.
Oh, yeah.
So emissions equipment. I mean, airbag deployment, structural damage.
Yep.
There's quite a big list of them. Undisclosed DMV fees.
Yep. All the cracked windshield or all the windows. And we buy a car that all the windows are
Yeah, yeah.
cracked.
I bought a Mercedes S class and it had like
Every window.
every window, including the moonroof, was cracked, but you couldn't see it in the pictures.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And they were trying to fight me on it, but they're like, "Oh, you can see." I was like, "Yeah, you can't really see it in the pictures." Sure, you could kind of like tell what it was if you knew what you were looking for, but it wasn't obvious, and they didn't mention like
Yeah.
major moonroof defect or whatever. So
They didn't disclose it. Did they take it back or did we
no, they took it back.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That would have
mean
been
there was other issues with the car too, but
yeah. Those weren't the only one I remember.
yeah. So I've had a few like uphill battles with them, but they usually do the right thing, but a lot of the like newer people or the ones that kinda let their power go to their head because they're a manager or whatever. They do a lot of pushback and it's frustrating sometimes, but I generally like buying from CarMax auction the best.
Yeah. They're pretty straightforward and easy to use.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they have a pretty good selection of cars.
right, yeah, I mean, they buy a lot of the common cars. But yeah, I mean, also I'm a partner with them, so I can get, like, what's called a max offer and sell them the car that I'm buying from a customer.
Yeah. It's actually a nice tool as well because you can appraise it and know you have the car sold at a set price as long as it's fully we disclose whatever the is wrong with the vehicle if anything. So it's kind of the same thing. Like we can't sell them a car that's needs major body work and then expect them to pay the prices if it didn't need it. So
Exactly.
yeah. So that's no, yeah, it's definitely a good tool. My buddy uses them a lot. He
Yeah.
basically sells all his cars there. Owner's like, why don't you we need to keep some of these cars. He's like, but I want to sell them to CarMax. I can, make money real quick.
Yep.
He actually like quick flips them. So
Yeah, yeah, I mean, CarMax is, they come in handy, for buying and selling cars to as a dealership. Um, but yeah, it sucks to hear that they're down right now because that means it's gonna affect the whole industry when they start to fall.
yeah.
Um, the other thing that I'm starting to see and I hear from all my wholesalers and my, community is that a lot of dealerships are super slow right now and there's some of them shutting down.
Yeah. A couple of our local independents I know shut down.
Yeah, some of my local competition is starting to, go under. It makes me nervous and excited at the same time, right? Because what makes me nervous is like How far is this slow season gonna last? Like how much more pain is this slow season gonna, cost us? And then the other part that makes me excited is now there's gonna be less competition, but I'm probably gonna have to suffer a little bit first financially by not being able to sell enough cars to cover the overhead. So I'm prepared for that. I do very well with saving money and I don't spend it on anything foolish. So I'm just always reinvesting it and trying to save money and put it back into the business when every chance I get. So I'm able to sustain a slower season even with 300 cars under my uh responsibility, but it's very costly and it can add up really quickly. I mean, there's been times where I've had to take 30, 40 grand out of my savings account to keep the business afloat because there's been slow months, slow seasons. And then there's been times where it's been, very good and it all balanced out at the end of the year, but it's a tough business, especially when you're not paying attention to all the little details. For me, I got to look at, what's the productivity like? I know for a fact if my salespeople are making 50 phone calls a day and trying to set up appointments each, we do better that month than if they're making 10 or 20 phone calls a day.
Yeah. I mean, I think we had a good example of it just yesterday or today. All the people made, 50 plus calls, 100 calls. And then today we had a busy day. Um, so yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And, here's the thing, right? Anybody out there that's thinking about becoming a car salesperson or a manager or a dealership owner,
Or sales even in general.
yeah, just sales and any sales, right? Here's one thing that I can guarantee you. You get out what you put in. If you put the energy in, you're going to get the results out of it. And that's what they call a law of average. You make 10 sales calls, you get one sale. Well, now you just got to make 100 sales calls to make 10 sales. For some people, it might be you make 5 sales calls and you get 1 sale. You have a much higher closing ratio. And other people, you make 30 phone calls and you get 1 sale. And that's your law of average. Is it gonna be 5%? Is it gonna be 10%, 20%, whatever it is? It's there. Like, you have a, law of average, you have a closing ratio. For example, when I used to do door-to-door cable sales, I was extremely good at it because not just because I'm charismatic or I'm, good at talking. It was because I practiced the script that they taught us. I practiced all of this. I learned all of the sales tactics. I made it such a simple pitch that it wasn't overcomplicated. I legitimately knew I was helping people because my cable package that I sold was half the price of what their bill was with the competitor.
So it was a win-win.
And I was only talking to people that didn't have our service. So it's a win-win. I'm legitimately helping them, but they still would shut down everybody that came to their door if they didn't have a good attitude, they didn't have the enthusiasm, they weren't they didn't have a good script to say.
And they have to trust you. I mean, you're literally knocking on their door. You could be in.
Yeah, yeah, you got to build the trust.
Yeah.
So on average, like a career cable salesperson would sell like 10 packages a month. There were days where I sold more than that, and quite often. It wasn't just like 1 day a week or whatever, it'd be like 2 or 3 days a week, I'd sell more than 10. I was that good. I had like 1 in 3 people answer their door, I'm selling them. So I knew like I was good because everybody else was talking to 30 customers to sell one. I was talking to three. And I remember I took my buddy Brendan out with me one day just to kind of show him and build up his confidence to do the job. I was like, just follow me around, don't say nothing, just watch. And he followed me around and he was like, wow, like almost every customer I spoke to, I think I probably knocked on like 20 doors and I sold 12.
So you made it look easy.
I made it look super easy and that's what got him motivated and into doing it. And I taught him how to do it. And he became a good salesperson because of that.
Oh, he's a great salesperson. It's funny because me and you have that in common. All of us have that in common is we all did door to door. It is the same way. And when I trained people, I did the Ventura County edition of the New York Times or the Los Angeles Times, LA Times. Um, like every time I'd be training somebody, like I'd close like any person that answered the door, I'd close them. I don't know if it's just like lights, camera, action, you perform better under pressure or what it is, but I'd always close the person and make the sale. I always and you're trusting somebody knocking on your door with your credit card information and you basically
Sometimes
your
your
information.
social security and cable and
Yeah, no, yeah.
you're not get this, you're knocking on someone's door and you're selling them something that they wasn't in the market to even buy 5 minutes before you knocked on their door and you're signing them up, a few minutes later. So that's what makes a great salesperson. As far as the car business goes, I mean, everyone can sit there and brag about how good they are at selling cars, but the truth is customers are coming to you to buy a car.
Yeah.
You're not finding them from cold leads. They're hot leads because they're already on your
Yeah,
dealership.
you have a product that they're looking for.
Yeah, that they're ready to buy,
Yeah.
most likely. So, I did well in car sales, but what made me really good, '07 to '09, I was doing door to door sales. So during the recession, when the whole country was in a recession, I didn't even know because I was like making so much money doing door to door cable sales and it was so easy. I mean, a lot of people were laid off, so they were at home, I guess that made it easy. A lot of people's cable got cut off, I'm guessing, and the bills were high, so they wanted to whatever it is, it all fell in place, but it was so easy to sell cable in that time and door to door cable sales. And, a lot of people still used home phones and the
Yeah.
internet was the fastest at the time with Time Warner Cable. And I did well, and it was almost too easy because I'd work 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, and I'd make double, triple the money I was making as a car salesperson, working 8 hours a d or 12 hours a day, every day. But, cars were still fun, and when I got back into the car business in 2010, I took a 3-year hiatus. I was instantly the number 1 car salesperson everywhere I went, so much so it was, like, unreal. People were caught out so off guard. They're like, "How is this guy so good?" One person asked me if I sold my soul to the devil. True story. It was, I did what's called a tent sale, and they take all the used cars from 5 different dealerships, usually they're all like a group,
Yeah, I remember those.
and there's like 300 used cars parked in a parking lot. This was a Walmart parking lot. And customers would come in. There's usually like a line of salespeople waiting for a customer, and then you get a customer, you take them and go back and wait in line when you were done with them. The number 1 guy every year for these tent sales, his name was Miguel. I forgot his last name, but his name was Miguel, and he'd sell like 4 to 5 cars every year, and everybody else would sell 1, 2, maybe 3, and a handful of people sell 0. So, him being the number 1 guy, it was like, "Okay, I gotta at least try to, like, match him." And then my sales manager was like, "Oh, yeah, I did it, and I sold 7, so your target's now to beat me in 7." I was like, "Really? You sold 7? seems high. I mean, I thought Miguel was number 1, but whatever. So he told me he sold 7, and I kinda believed him, but, I never fact checked him. And I was like, "Okay, all right, man, let me, gear up for it." And what was really awkward, I had started at this dealership as a closer, so I was like a manager, but it was a position that they created because they only had 1 closer, and she was crafty. She agreed to hiring me as a closer, but she gave me the worst salespeople on my team because we had teams. They divided the 10 salespeople up. They gave me the worst team. My team consisted of 50, 60-year-old men who all failed in business and they used to own a business and now they're selling cars. And I was the young buck, I think I was what, maybe 31 years old, 32. I was the young guy, superstar from the previous store I came from. They wouldn't listen to me for nothing. They didn't respect me at all. I came in as a manager and they just no one wanted to listen to me. So I was like, all right, I guess. I mean, and I was trying to be like, hey, you guys got to do this, this, and this, and
They wouldn't have it.
use my authority, and they no respect at all. So anyway, she says, I'm not splitting the commissions with him, blah, 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 this and that. The GSM said, you know what? Uh, she doesn't want to split the commissions with you. You'll probably make more money as a salesperson. And at that time, I think they offered $500 a car that you sold during the 10 sale flat. So I was like, okay, all right, yeah, I guess I gotta sell cars, and this would be a great way to like earn my stripes, so to speak. So I pumped myself up and I said, okay, man, I gotta sell. I'm gonna do the best I can. And it was at that time in 2010, 2011, I had signed up for Grant Cardone's university. And we all know who Grant Cardone is now. But at that time, I was looking for like car sales training on Google and he popped up and I paid $200 to sign up for his sales training. And it's just him in front of a camera talking about closing and this and that. So I stuffed as many hours of his information and as possible leading up to the sales training. I probably spent like 20, 30 hours just watching his videos and I'm trying to pump myself up. And it kind of paid off. I mean, he had some good information in there. Some of it I knew, some of it was like a reminder, and some of it was new. So anyway, I pumped myself up and I sold 9 cars in that 4 days at the tent sale, and Miguel still sold his 4 or 5, and everybody else were like, "Man, who the hell is this guy?"
That's after coming from cable.
Yeah, 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 it was shortly after coming from cable. And, out of, like, the 30 salesmen there, everybody was, like, celebrating me like I was some hero, and they're like, "Man, how'd you," like, whatever, and it's like, yeah, I was good, I mean, I remember one of my customers, I walked in Walmart to get some snacks, and the cashier who's getting off says, "Oh, you're working over there? I was gonna come over there and look at some cars." I was like, "Come with me." And I walked her in past the line of salespeople. They were all, "Oh, you can't do that. He's walking in." I was like, "No, I brought this customer in from Walmart. It wasn't like someone walking in." But, so there was that and a few others. I think I had like a little bit of help. The GSM said, here, I'm sending this person to ask for you. But, out of that, outside of that, I think 6 or 7 of those deals came from just average customers, and I was just on fire. I mean, I'm like, you're here to buy a car, let's get it done."
Yeah, the Grant Cardone is, strong.
Yeah.
That gets you especially right after you're, like, pumped up. You're like, "I just learned all these new little techniques and ideas." So, I'm sure that had a little, influence to it too.
Yeah, and then the confidence, right? It gives you
Yeah.
confidence whenever you're learning something about your industry, a new skill, you get this
Yeah,
overwhelming sense of confidence, like, "You know what? I can see why this is a way to be successful. Let me try it
right.
this way,
You
try
always wanna
something
try it
different."
out, yeah.
Yeah, and it stimulates your neurons, makes you think outside the box in some ways.
I mean, that's actually one of the good reasons for, like, a sales meeting, because you're basically, reinvigorating, maybe teaching something new. I remember after a sales meeting, I'd always be,
That's
kinda pumped up because I'd be like, "Oh," we, like, rehearse, like, the script for when the customer came in to, look at a car. We'd, and implement new ideas. I'm, like, always excited to go try them. And so, actually, a sales meeting is real good idea for sales.
yeah.
Everyone brainstorms and basically tries to come up with the best solution to, get more sales in their department.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a good time to, like, bring up common objections and listen to the vets, like, "What's your rebuttal to this type of an objection?"
Yeah.
It gives you more confidence. But, yeah. So, anyway, this is Johnny Flores, and, you guys kinda know who I am at this point, maybe? But, anyway, the reason that we're the number 1 dealer right now in the county is because of our talent, our knowledge, our experience, our creative outside the box thinking, and our passion for the business. When we started Inside Car Guys, the dealership, Johnny joined me about a month or 2 after I got the lease, and we painted the walls together, we set it up, decorated it. We would be there probably 14, 15 hours every single day.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I lived at the dealership. So I'd wake up at 7, start working, I'd go to bed at midnight. I had a house, I wasn't homeless, but
I was gonna say you had a place that you're, renting.
yeah, I had a nice house, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to be at the dealership every waking moment.
Yeah.
So I had a full bathroom with a shower. I just hung out there. And, we put in this humongous amount of passion and energy into it. We attracted some really good talent. And, where the average dealership would sell 30 cars a month, we were selling 60, 70 cars a month
Yep.
out the gate, just instantly, and moving a lot of metal. And I was like, man, this isn't good enough. I need to sell more cars.
Need to get to 80.
Yeah, I got to get to 80, 90, 100. But, now I've diversified. I've opened up a second car dealership. I got 2 service repair shops now, and we're just waiting for everything to kinda, like, stabilize a little bit to open up a 3rd dealership and another service repair shop.
Yeah.
So, expansion's still happening and is coming soon, and we got some exciting things in the works. And we're also gonna bring back the broker side, like, full time.
Yeah.
And that's gonna definitely help support us. But we got some exciting things in the works, and I just want to say, to my fans I have so far, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for following me on this journey, and thanks for supporting us. And if you know anyone looking to buy or sell a car,
I mean,
uh,
we're the guys.
think of us.
We only have 300 available in stock, and we can do anything that the new car stores can.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no I always tell my friends and family and anyone, there's really no reason that you shouldn't be able to buy a car from us.
yeah. If you want a new car, come to us. We'll get you one.
Yeah.
I had a lady the other day. She had a 2022 Honda Civic. She was leasing it, and she came in saying she wanted a brand new Corolla. Well, she came in to sell her car because we had the highest quote online for her to buy it. So she came in to sell her car, and we were like, "Well, can we help you get another car?" She's like, "No, I wanna lease a new Corolla." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can make that happen." And then I'm scrambling, like, thinking, "Oh, man, this is gonna take, some time. I gotta, like, buy her car, use that equity to roll over into the new car. This might take a week or 2." Like, initially, just planning it out step by step. And I was like, wait, how could I do this sooner? And then it was to the point where I was about to loan her a car for the week because she needed a car to drive. And then while I'm buying her car and letting the title and everything solidify, to where I was like, you know what? There's a way to do this today. Not only is there a way to do this today, I could do this in like an hour or two. And I made it happen. I called one of my contacts. I said, I need to get this done in an hour. She's got great credit. I want to do a lease deal on a Toyota. We want to be close to $200 a month. And we made it happen. We used the equity of her trade as a small down payment, and we got her to $220 a month with taxes on a lease for a new Corolla. And we were able to deliver the car that same day within like a couple hours. She was driving in her brand new car.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is a great testimony. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
for sure.
the dealership delivered the car to us.
Yeah,
Our
they brought
dealership.
us the car
Yep.
and she drove away, did the paperwork there. She was happy, wrote me a glowing review on I think Google.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing experience for both of us.
But that's the difference with going through a broker service or going to a dealership. That same thing. One, she probably couldn't have got that deal.
Oh yeah, she would
On her,
no, she would have paid closer. I did the math. She would have paid closer to 450 a month for the same car.
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
And she was coming from a 350 payment.
Yep.
So if she had went to the Toyota dealership,
Herself, yeah.
yeah, they would have made 5 grand on her more so than what I did, probably 6.
And you're able to do it within an hour.
And I was able to do it super quick.
Yeah. Usually, how long does the customer usually take? Like 4 hours, 5 hours?
Yeah, yeah, you go to a new car store, everything is so bogged down with
Yeah.
the process.
There's so many layers. It's like
Layers,
and
yeah.
yeah, like the BDC department you're talking about.
Start off here and
Yep.
there. It's
Yeah.
it's a slow process.
But it's designed that way.
It's a slow
Remember,
and painful process for most
they make
customers.
it that way so you eventually give up.
Right,
Right? The longer you stay on the dealership's lot, the more likely are to sell you a vehicle, and the more you end up paying.
exactly.
So yeah, it's intentional. So that's the difference between an auto broker versus, you going straight to a dealership is you don't have to go through that agony or pain. And one phone call, you're able to get the best deal.
Exactly. Oh,
So that's the difference with having a professional who does this every day. How many cars do you think you've bought, either for the dealership plus yourself? Thousands?
oh yeah, yeah, I mean, I did well over 1,000 in the last 15 months probably.
Most people won't ever buy more than 100 cars, more than 50 cars in their lifetime for
Oh,
themselves.
no, the average person, I wanna say 5 to 10 cars maybe throughout their life. Because you think about it, if you keep a car for 5 years or even 3 years, I mean, 10 of them, that's 30 years of whatever, I mean.
But you don't really start buying a car till you're what, 18, 19,
Yeah, something like
16?
that. So let's say 20 cars, every 3 years, I mean, that's 60 years of living.
Right.
Average person keeps their car for
I think it's like
3 years.
yeah,
Yeah,
3 to 4 years.
but I mean, before I even started a dealership or started buying cars to, like, really flip, I've probably owned 100 cars, and one of the main reasons is because I always buy cars where I'm in a position to flip them and make a profit. So
Yeah.
when I get bored of a car, I sell it, make a little profit, and buy another car.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's also profitable. So
Drive a car for free and
yeah.
and make money. You're basically getting paid to drive a new car
Yeah, yeah,
if you buy it.
exactly. Yep. But, that's one of the other reasons I wanted to start a dealership because now I've got to drive every car that I've wanted to drive as like a dream car, and I got to test so many cool cars out.
Yeah. Like there's so many you learn so much when you run a used car dealership. I remember when I was at the new car store. You only learn, about your brand. When you're running a used car store, you're learning everything about every car there is for the last, 20, 30 years, even older. Look at the 38 Tudor we have.
Yeah, not even that. I mean, you're learning more aspects of the business.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You're learning a lot. You're learning, I mean, and you kind of wear every hat, so you know how to pretty much do everything,
Yeah.
you know?
From lot porter to,
Yeah.
marketing and advertising, sales, you name it. So that's one of the funnest things about the job. And when we hire our new sales reps, and it's like you get to do everything. You're never bored. There's never downtime. We always have something to do. Days
Right.
go by quick. You'll get here, and next thing you know, you're it's time to go home. You're like, what?
Yeah,
Still, still light out, or still have stuff to do. So that's the fun thing, is you're never bored, never stagnant.
exactly. Well, I mean, if you guys like our content, subscribe to my channel, share it with a friend, and I will do my best to teach you all of the inside secrets as we go to how to buy cars, sell cars, even start up a dealership
Yeah.
as we go on and, give you some more stories of
If
what
there's
what we do.
if there's questions that you guys have, like, put them in the chat, put them in the comments, and then we could try to address them and cover them. Some of the ins and outs of, what you want to know about the business. If you want to know more about auto brokering, we can cover on like one of our future podcasts or
Yeah, that's a
future
good
calls.
idea. Yeah, ask the questions and then we'll address them on the next show.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks.
that'd be fun.